Hello.
Hi.
And we're back with episode 3. Can we call these episodes?
I've been calling them episodes on the platforms, yeah.
Oh, okay, then we'll stick with episode then.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Season 1.
Back once again. We need to think of more taglines.
I'll work on it for in 2 weeks' time.
Stuck. So what do you want to talk about today then?
We're going to talk about Saturday Night Takeaway, aren't we, from last week?
Yeah, I think there's like an engrossing theme to it, which we'll probably get into with regards to rainbow washing. But yeah, I think first of all, I definitely want to talk about
Ant Dec.
100%.
That's where you wanted to go, so we'll go with that. Did you watch the clip?
I did watch the clip, yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah.
It was done by, come on. The whole thing was done by RuPaul, so you know it was going to be good.
Yes, but I still can't stop myself from being slightly, not offended, because I'm not a drag queen, but I still can't stop myself from being a bit like, this is wrong, or this could have been better, or this should have been used in a better way.
Potentially. So for anybody that hasn't watched it, it'd be 2 weekends ago now, Ant Dec performed on Saturday Night Takeaway with some drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. The drag queens were...
You've got Crystal Versace, you've got the Vivian, Lawrence Cheney.
Everybody's favourite.
Your favourite.
And I think I prefer Crystal over Lawrence. I did like Lawrence, though. She's very funny.
I was going to try and do the accent, but I can't do Scottish.
No, don't do it. Don't embarrass yourself. RuPaul and Michelle Visage were both on set as well. Because they're over here filming the new season of Drag Race.
Well, that's been
already been
done and filmed. Yeah, they're just over here promoting it.
Right, then they're promoting the new season of Drag Race. The drag looks, the whole setup was done by Raven.
I mean, if I had my makeup done by Raven, then I would look amazing as well. And
they did look amazing. I think they looked incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything wrong with the way that they looked.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not like, that's not how I judge this. I'm not like looking at them going, oh, they looked horrendous. It makes a mockery of the whole thing. No, not at all.
Do you want to do a breakdown then of each? So Ant was Lady Antoinette? Lady Antoinette.
And Dec was Miss Donnelly.
Miss Donnelly.
I like the names.
I think they could have done a little bit better with the names, but...
Well, no, I mean Antoinette, and then Donnelly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess.
It makes sense.
It does make sense.
They didn't come up with that, though.
Oh, no, you know that the people behind RuPaul have definitely come up with those names for them.
100%. You know they've not come up with that. I can imagine Raven, like, plastering makeup on them and going, so what's your drag name? And then they're like, oh, we haven't thought of one. Oh, I could think of one.
So did we like their looks?
Yeah. I'm not going to deny that they didn't look stunting. Of course they did. That's not where my anger lies.
Who was the best dressed? Who do you think looked better?
Ant.
I think, yeah, I would go with Ant as well. Ant definitely looked better than Dec did.
Taller, slimmer, and has more defined features.
And they killed it in their heels.
Yeah. Well, they didn't really do much.
They didn't do much, but that's difficult to do. Like, I'm female and I can't walk around in heels, so...
Well, I'm male and I can, so there's a... you know what I mean? That doesn't... I mean, we're probably not the best people to speak on this, one gay and one lesbian. It doesn't really...
I can still appreciate the fact that they did do well in heels.
Well, yeah.
So we like their looks. What about... And the performance, you were fine with the performance? Or?
I'm fine with the performance.
Did you like the song?
It's alright.
You're giving me nothing here.
But it's because it's not, I'm not going to like rave about it when I feel so, when I'm Natalie Imbruglia in this moment. I am torn.
Oh, you are torn.
Because one part of me would love to stand here and go, yes, they've really, holding up a flag to drag queens, and they're really trying to, show the world and blah, blah. But then the other part of me is like, we didn't need you two to do this, for starters. And also, I just don't believe it should have been done for the reasons. We'll get into it as we go along, but I am torn. I can't stand here and be like, oh, it was so great, it was blah, 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 I absolutely loved it. Did they do it bad? No. Should it have been done at all? No. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I am inclined to agree with you to some extent, but it has had mixed reviews online. You know, people from the drag community have said that they did an amazing job and that, you know, they applaud them. And then other people have said, you've completely done this in the wrong light. Like, you shouldn't have done this at all.
I'm not going to stand here and celebrate the solemn bravery of two straight men in this wide world putting on a fucking dress and dancing around on a TV show. Sorry, I'm just not. What takes more guts is to do it professionally. What takes more guts is to do this day in and day out. To be doing it in the bars. To be, you know, standing up for trans rights, for gay rights, for lesbian rights, for all the rights of our community. And doing this as an art form. Not something that was going to get, 8 million viewers on it and it was going to be a fucking joke. Where it's like, oh, look, Ant and Dec are dressed up like women. Isn't that a gag? No.
I don't think everybody has taken it as a joke. I do think that some people have taken it quite seriously. There was a woman that had said that had actually applauded it because I think their son dresses in drag or wants to be a drag queen or something like that, and said that having two people as famous as Ant and Dec on mainstream TV dressed as drag shows her son that it is okay to dress in women's clothes and be a drag act.
Yeah, I'm not going to turn away from that. I'm not going to say that that's a bad thing. Cool. But this, we not been done new, if I'm going to really go there, in the sense that drag has been on TV now for, oh God, for a long, long time, especially in the UK more so than America. And we all can't deny what RuPaul's Drag Race has done to bring it to the limelight. In a way, was that her son's first viewing of what drag was?
I don't know. It was just a quick article that I'd read. You need to remember though that even though for me and you we're sitting here, and maybe for people of our generation and older generations, we can sit here and go, you should not have done that have absolutely no idea about drag and the drag community. But for little kids or younger kids, they may never have seen RuPaul's Drag Race before. Maybe that's not something that's been brought to their attention. So to then see Ant and Dec with what you said, 8 million views just on Saturday Night Takeaway alone, that could be a big deal to a little kid.
Yeah, it could be.
That's never been introduced to drag before, that didn't even know drag was a thing. If they're running around wearing makeup and dresses and don't understand, and never heard of RuPaul, or any drag queens for that matter, that could be their first interaction with drag.
So bringing that obviously into the discussion then, the reality of what this is supposedly doing for our community, do you think it was the producers, the showrunners, Ant and Dec's interest to bring this to the forefront? Or do you not? Or do you think that this was, as I think, which is a way of garnering views because in their world it's so outlandish?
I'm not really sure. There's mixed reviews online as to whether they wanted to do, apparently I'm going to use apparently, Ant and Dec wanted to do a drag performance, and originally it was not going to be as good as the one that they did do. That's from something that I read. Again, don't know how true that article was. And then obviously RuPaul got involved, and that's why you ended up with the proper way to do drag. Do I think it was done to garner views? Ant and Dec don't need views. So they're two of the biggest comedians in the UK. For them, I don't think it really matters. They've been on our television screen since we were children. It's plus 20 years.
Yeah.
So them garnering views, I don't think it was done for them to garner views. Do I think it was done for Ru? Unfortunately, yes, I do, in a way, because, the 8 million people watched that performance, and not all 8 million people will have known who RuPaul was, but they fucking do now.
Yes, but here's the thing. To sort of go back to that initial point of, do I think that they did it to garner views? 100% I do, because Ant and Dec have been dwindling in their view counts for a while now. There is nothing progressive about two cis straight white men
No,
on
no,
TV who do shit comedy, might I add. I'm sorry to sort of be the bulk of this, but it's not exactly progressive or funny or the kind of comedy that I watch and go, ah, ha, ha. No, it's not. It got boring for a while.
Yeah, but it was when you were a kid.
Yeah, it was, but that's because I was a child, so it wasn't exactly like, no, do more, do more about how women don't get paid equal. Do you know what I mean? That wasn't on my agenda as a kid. It was just more loud noise, go boom, me go ha ha. Whereas now, I'm looking for something which is a little bit funnier from someone who's a little bit more progressive. This to me reeks of them trying to be like, look at what we can do. 8 million views. TV shows don't normally get that many millions. They did this is a stunt. They were pulling stunts at the end of the day. And then obviously do, like what you've said, I think RuPaul cashed in on this 100%.
It'd be stupid.
RuPaul is all about the moolah.
She'd be stupid not to, really. When it's more people, that's what I'm saying to you.
RuPaul would sell his grandma for £1 million. That's
no
not
doubt.
good,
but 8 million views and, Drag Race in the UK does need a good push, as we both know, because they win badges, not prizes.
Not prizes. I'm so bugged at that.
They win badges, not prizes. So we both
give them the cash, RuPaul.
We both know that they need more traction in the UK.
Yes.
So do I think that it was done for a stunt? Yes, I do think it was done for a stunt on RuPaul's end, just to gain more traction for Drag Race versus UK Drag Race versus the World, which is this season of Drag Race that's on now. I don't know. I'm torn.
Yeah, you're Natalie Imbruglia.
I'm Natalie Imbruglia as well.
Yeah.
I really struggle with it because, like, I want to say that they've done it, and there's going to be a bunch of little kids out there now that are not going to be as concerned about putting on makeup or dressing in drag, and I do think that will help those kids. Especially if they haven't seen drag before. But at the same time, it in some ways it does feel like a publicity stunt done by two people I didn't want to see in drag. They're not drag queens.
No.
They're not drag queens. They have no idea what it's like being... I mean, neither do I, to be fair, but they have no idea what it's like to be in the drag community. They haven't got a clue what drag artists have to go through. I mean, to get to where they are now.
I suppose I should sort of clarify a little bit before we start getting hate comments through. This isn't me saying that a straight person should not do drag. That's not what I'm saying here. There are so many drag queens out there in the world that are straight, that do this as an art form. This is their art. That's where I get annoyed with these two, with Ant and Dec, because they're not doing it because it's art. They're not doing it to spread the further word of, with the LGBTQ plus community. They were doing it for a stint. They were doing it for a stunt. They were doing it to gain views. The charity was not even an LGBTQ charity.
That was the bit that annoyed me the most. Like, it was done for charity. It was, which, all charities deserve money, obviously, but it was done for the Trussell Trust, which supports 14 million people in the UK living in poverty, 4.5 million of which are children. So it's basically I think it's a food bank.
Yeah, it sounds like a food bank. And do you know, that is
it's a great cause.
Great charity.
It's an incredible
to donate
cause.
To.
Don't dress in drag to promote that. If you're going to dress in drag and do that, and then you want to give money to charity, can you please do it to drag charities?
LGBT Youth Foundation, the Homeless Foundation for LGBT
youth. Yeah. You've barked up the wrong tree there, and that's the bit that gets me. Because it's like, okay, you've done this. I'm a little bit Natalie Imbruglia on where I stand, but the charity is completely wrong.
By the way, just to cut you off a little bit, can we all start using this in modern day
What,
terms?
instead of saying torn?
Instead of saying torn, can we just say, I am Natalie Imbruglia? Could we just say that from now on?
Well, I don't know if the rest of the world will, but me and you can.
That's going to be
I think we've done this before anyway.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to do.
We walk into rooms and go, I'm Natalie Imbruglia.
I am Natalie Imbruglia. I'm just going to walk into a room and say, I am Natalie Imbruglia. In this moment right now. Sorry, as you were saying.
I've forgotten what I was saying now. No, that I know what I was saying. Yes, no, I was saying that the charity was wrong. I can be as Natalie Imbruglia as I like about the whole drag situation from two people that are not drag queens, but the charity was wrong. If you want to dress up in drag and do the hula, then you need to be donating your money to LGBTQ plus youth foundations,
opinion, yeah.
or anything in the LGBTQ plus community.
I think it would have softened the blow for me if that had been the case, because then I probably would have looked at it with a little bit more of an open mind. I probably would have then gone, okay, this makes sense. You want to raise funds for LGBT youth who are homeless or that are struggling or that have, been rejected by families, whatever. I get that. I 100% understand that. And doing drag is the best way because it's such an expressionist art form. It's such a, a political stunt sometimes to be a drag queen. That for them to do it and to raise funds for something like that, I would be on board with. I would understand. For them to have done it this way and gone, we're just doing it for food banks, does kind of put me a little bit at odds. They could have done something else, anything else. If their show got 8 million views in succession, which it doesn't, by the way, but if it did, then they would be able to do this sort of like promotion every single episode and donate to a different charity every single episode. They'd have the money. But again, what garnered their 8 million views, what garnered such a huge response, was them dancing around in wigs and makeup and hair.
And just for clarification, 24% of LGBT youth are homeless in the UK.
So it's not even like a small figure. This is something that, could change a lot of people's lives. And so can the food bank. I'm not going to take away from that. But it's a ridiculous thing that in this country, I mean, this is where we're going to get too political. So we'll probably I'll shorthand what I'm about to say. In the UK, food banks shouldn't be a thing because no one should be in that much fucking poverty because of our stupid government that is literally chastising the poor and inflating the rich. But unfortunately, because of LGBTQ problems that will never have any form of government backing, a charity is needed. And to me, we're sort of aligning more onto the side of where we'll use this LGBTQ thing, this thing which people have been arrested for in the past, have been judged upon in the present, as a gain to make money for those that need food because our government can't step its fucking ass up. And it just winds me up. But I'm not political.
No, I do agree with you. It is a big blow to the nuts, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's not much that we can do about it, to be honest. Though.
No, we can. Well, we can make this podcast, and
we can do things. We can do.
You
things
can watch
about
me
it,
rant.
Like I can't fix the UK's problems or the government's problems, unfortunately. But
I'd put you in blue and red and call you fucking Wonder Woman if you could do that.
Can I be Batwoman instead? At least
sure,
she's a lesbian.
You could be Batwoman. Listen, Wonder Woman, for all we know, could be a lesbian.
I know, but I just feel like
She came from the island of women.
She did. Beautiful women.
That's what I mean. And you're telling me that not one of them dabbled in the lesbian waters.
They probably did, but at least, Kate Kane was full-blown lesbian and has a great outfit, so...
They both do.
I know, but I'd feel more comfortable in the batsuit.
Because it's all black and all covering.
It's all black. And there's a cape.
Wonder Woman's got a cape.
Yeah, but not as big as Batwoman's cape.
Yeah, it's true.
We're so off topic right now.
We're off topic right now. Let's just get back. But yes, there is more that we can do. There is more that we can spread as awareness. And that's what I mean. Why I'm Natalie Imbruglia is because on one side, it brings, a plethora, a wealth of advertisement to the drag community, and that's always going to be a good thing. Where I can't stand it is where it's been monetized for something which is not going to help them.
My concern is that did people watch that and go, oh, that's amazing, look at what these people do in drag, and look how incredible they look, and look at, their artistry is impeccable and they look flawless, which they do look flawless, they're beautiful, but... Or did they look at it and 1980s laugh? That's my worry. Like, was it done? Did people look at it and think it was funny that men were dressed as women? That's my other concern. Is like, because when you watch drag, I'm going to say you because you primarily watch Drag Race. I do watch it occasionally. You're watching it for the art form, the bitchiness, and the art form, and the lip syncs, and the comedy, and
TV show. So of course I'm watching it for a little bit of drama
for their comedy art and things like that, and the way that they do things. But then did the rest of the world watch this and laugh and think it was funny? And it wasn't. And to be fair, when you actually watch what they did, and Ant Dec and the rest of the Drag Race team, it wasn't actually funny. It was just a song, and it was like it would be on Drag Race, I guess. But then me and you, then my thought process goes to not all straight people, did some straight people then look at it and think that this was comedy? Did they think that they were trying to be funny?
It makes you wonder.
It really makes me wonder if they thought that they were trying to be funny and it wasn't funny. It was serious, because this is what they do in the drag community. Do you know what I mean? Like,
this is just it, and this is where I struggle with it. And I guess that, in this sort of sentiment of Ant and Dec taking from the gays, because unfortunately we've always known how to impress first, we'll get onto the hotbed topic of light dusting of rainbow washing.
Are we over Ant and Dec now? I'm
not over it now, but at the same time, we'll move.
Are we done with the conversation of
I think we'll have to move past it, yeah.
So the resound result is they looked fantastic.
They looked fantastic.
I liked the
Great
song.
Performance.
I liked the performance, but it worries us.
Shouldn't have been done.
It probably shouldn't have been done, and if it was done, it should have been done for the correct charity.
Yeah, it should have been done for the right reasons. And we'll move on.
And that might be an unpopular opinion. Let's go.
I don't care. If my opinion's unpopular, move on from it. Unfortunately, you've tuned into this podcast, so we've got you for another 30 minutes now. No. Listen, everyone's opinion is valid. If you liked it, let us know in the comment section and, DM us, whatever, at me. But at the same time, if you liked it, fine, you liked it.
I know people that did like the LGBTQ plus that liked it, but it's like...
It's just my opinion was that it could have been better, that there could have been more to it, that this was used just purely for marketing. And that's just my opinion. Again, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not being like, cancel them. I'm just saying that I wish some of the aspects were different. That's all.
I agree. Let's move on. Hit me with it.
So, we'll get onto the hotbed topic of rainbow washing.
For anybody that doesn't know what rainbow washing is,
rainbow washing?
What is it, Doug?
Rainbow washing is it's a modern day term now, I suppose, and it's kind of like greenwashing and whitewashing, which is where it stems from. And effectively, rainbow washing is when a company, individuals, or whatever prospective governments effectively rainbow flag their entire operation.
And we see this a lot over Gay Pride, when Gay Pride is.
Oh yeah, 100%. So, as soon as Gay Pride hits, I've never seen
June,
more
July?
rainbows. Yeah.
June, July. Well, no, actually, you did see more rainbows. You saw a lot of them during coronavirus.
Yeah.
Used in the wrong way.
Although, having said that, that was the old rainbow. They can keep that. We've got the progressive one now.
It is. Yeah, they can keep that, absolutely. But then it just... Did none of that concern you in a way? I know that we weren't allowed to go out because obviously coronavirus and nobody wants to catch that. But I feel like the marketing was a little bit confusing because you're using rainbows for the NHS in the UK, which, by the way, if anybody doesn't know, the NHS actually has its own flag. It's blue and white. Yet suddenly they have a rainbow, and that's fine. I don't hate that. But then I feel like that was slightly dangerous.
It was done because obviously the little kid who first drew it and put it on the window. And then that picture was shared millions upon millions of times.
Oh no, I know that. I don't want to take away from that. And do you know what I mean? That little kid.
Well, no, I was getting to the point anyway. But the reality was, it was shared by millions and millions of people, and then it landed obviously in the Conservative desk.
Oh no, I know that.
And so then naturally, what's better to I'm not saying the Conservatives are homophobic. I'll just let people get to that point themselves. But naturally, for them to erase an entire culture's flag, identity, in a very swift movement by adding it to something that not one of us is going to say shouldn't exist, like the NHS, Boris Johnson very cleverly rainbow washed the whole situation.
Well, he did. Actually, you know what? That's a point. That's not even in my notes. But he kind of did, actually, yeah. I know we have our progressive flag. And I know... my point is that I know we weren't allowed to go out. So that's fine. But if you put a rainbow flag, outside in your gardens, or even if you're going out into town and stuff like that and you see rainbows, to anybody that is LGBTQ plus, can, you know, that rainbow signifies that you are in a safe space, that you're in a safe area, and that you will not experience any form of homophobic abuse or verbal insult. And what was funny was that people were putting these rainbows up naturally for the NHS. That's fine, but then you're then jeopardizing. But that's what I'm saying. Then you're jeopardizing the safety of LGBTQ plus people because these people could be homophobic, and they've put rainbow flags outside their house, and like queer couples could walk past and think that they were safe, holding hands or kissing, whatever it is that they're doing, and then get abuse hurled at them because they've got a rainbow flag outside the house, but they're actually homophobes. It's dangerous.
But they did. Did you ever during the pandemic? Did you ever like sink into the deep, murky depths of Twitter?
I stay away from Twitter. I don't like it.
I have an obsession. So I sunk into those dark blue waters during the middle of the pandemic, and there was full-blown arguments where a person had put up the rainbow flag or whatever for the NHS, and then words to the effect somewhere along the lines of, "I'm not homophobic, but," which I always love, "the rainbow is not for the gays." And I'm like, interesting. So it's a very weird way of people sort of got it. This straight community in some ways felt like they'd reclaimed what was theirs from us, the corrupt gays, stealing from them yet again.
You know, it's funny though, that rainbow flag has been ours for well over 50 years.
Yonks.
50 years plus. And yes, we have got the progressive flag now with the inverted triangle and the black and the pink and everything else that's in there.
Which I actually prefer.
I do prefer it. I actually really love that flag. And I resonate with that flag more. But for other people, for the older generations, they may not resonate with that flag. And for them, it would always be the traditional rainbow flag. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that progressive flag is aimed more at millennials and down. They will be brought up with that flag in mind. But but for an older generation, no, not so much. And I'm not going to lie, every time if I see any form of rainbows outside, usually I associate that with a place where I'm going to be safe.
Same. And this isn't Fun with Flags Part 2, so we should probably move away from
We probably should do. I don't even know how. Do you know what? This podcast was a bad idea. Me and you just veered down some weird routes.
But the reality is, going back to rainbow washing. What effectively a lot of businesses tend to do is they tend to stick up the rainbow colours onto all of their logos, or they get their logos completely rebranded and have them like totally different for the Pride season and stick them up. Now, when I was younger, I only know of one business which ever supported gay people, and that was Absolute Vodka. That was all
Absolute Vodka have supported LGBT rights for, I think I've read 70 plus years. I could be wrong, but
I'm almost 100% certain it was since it was created. I'm sure of it.
Every time I've ever seen a bottle of Absolute Vodka, you can buy it with the normal clear glass with the blue label, or there's always a rainbow pride
flag. There's so many.
Absolute is the one that you go to. That's the one that it's always been there
since the age of like 13. As I can remember that far back, it was always Absolute that was associated with gay culture. It's always what I remember it to be. So you know what? If Absolute tomorrow just flew out a load of rainbow flags and started going, "We support you," I'd be like, "You go Absolute!" I would be on their truck, like literally dancing and singing along to it. Because they've always done that. They've always been here for us, and we're one of the first companies. Do I classify their actions as rainbow washing?
No.
Because of how much they've done to support the community. They've donated to funds. They've donated
if you buy a bottle of the rainbow vodka, money goes back to LGBTQ plus charities. If you buy a bottle of the regular vodka, the blue label, I think that money just goes straight back to Absolute. So they've always pumped money into the LGBTQ plus community. So I don't believe that they rainbow wash at all. And when I did my research, I couldn't find anything that linked them to groups that are homophobic or support different things. So.
No, and they wouldn't be neither. Can you imagine? That would be such like a crush to their brand. There's a reason why all the gays drink it. So yeah, but enough advertisement for Absolute. By the way, Absolute, if you're listening, we will take sponsored advertising. And let's get back into what rainbow washing is. So I suppose if we take a look at like a lot of modern day companies now, they've all got the pride flag whenever it turns into pride, and it's become this weird sort of like marketing campaign where they now capitalize on gay pride.
It's a marketing ploy, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, they put rainbow flags everywhere and they come out with their pride collections, and people will go and buy them, obviously, without knowing. I had this conversation earlier, like, people go and buy these things. They look cool, don't get me wrong, you know, like when Nike and Adidas and other companies do all their rainbow merch and stuff like that. It's great, but do you actually know what you're buying into? That's the question. Like, you go out and buy it and think that you're supporting LGBTQ plus rights, or you're buying it because you are LGBTQ plus. Are these people aware that these companies put into corrupt politicians?
Yeah. Or corrupt businesses or anything.
Or completely support homophobic people and homophobic views. So, for instance, if we take somebody like, let's take Adidas, shall we? So Adidas came out with a full-on pride pack. They do it pretty much every year for the last few years. But then they were the official sponsors of the World Cup that was held in Russia.
I know.
Russia, who are renowned for not being huge fans of queer people.
To put it in the most political way possible.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so you're going to go out and you're going to buy the Pride Pack by Adidas, but then you're okay with the fact that they supported the Russian Football World Cup.
I know. But this is what I mean. There's so many other sort of incidences of it as well. You know, Disney was another one who do like the rainbow ears, the Disney rainbow ears.
They do, and then they do a full-on Pride at Disney Paris every year. They started that, I think it was just before COVID, and they put on a full event in like, I think it's like June or July or something, and it's an invitation for all queer parents and stuff, and queer people to go down, and they celebrate Pride Month. And everything's rainbow coloured, and you know, Mickey Mouse has got rainbow coloured ears and things, and it's like
Mickey
great,
Mouse is fucking Donald Duck.
But then you still can't give us LGBTQ plus Disney characters.
Oh, don't get me started. Yeah, Elsa can't be a lesbian, but don't worry, we're going to do gay pride at Disneyland Paris.
I wouldn't mind though if you look into the subliminals behind Elsa. You know she's a raging lesbian.
Yeah, Elsa's got 2 fingers in someone's pie somewhere. The reality is they have these characters, these sort of like hidden storylines and motifs, and say that they are
they had them in what was it? Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, of course there was. Cogsworth, Raging Mo. And the reality is they say all of this and they do all of this as a way of turning around and being like, we are a progressive, equal rights company. We support everybody. The reality is they don't, and we know why they don't, and it has one thing and one thing only: money.
I think money is definitely a big part of it. It's not just money though, is it? Me and you both know about the parental association groups in America especially. I would imagine that there's probably one here in the UK as well, but I know about the one in the States, and
there is one here in the UK, yeah.
They're the first people to say that, you know, if you give Elsa a girlfriend, then we're going to boycott Disney, rah, 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 you know, full-blown kick-off, like riots in the streets and shit.
Yeah, exactly. We can't have kids looking at gay people.
Kids looking at Elsa with a girlfriend, even though we know that she's a raging lesbian.
I know. It's ridiculous.
And then Disney bow down to things like this, so... And it's not just Disney, but, you know, they're the biggest group, and I am going to judge them, because as much as I like Disney to some extent, you can't say that we're all inclusive and we love everybody and love is love and blah, 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 but we're not going to advertise being gay.
No, exactly.
Well, then you don't believe in equal opportunity. You just don't.
No, but it's the same with other things as well. And this is where it gets a little bit more difficult to sort of, you know, push back against, because these are some of the hugest companies in the world. Disney is one of the big companies. Adidas is one of the big companies. You've also got the likes of like Amazon, for example, who donated millions of dollars to Trump's political campaign.
Oh, it wasn't just Amazon that did. Walmart, McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. And these these are the companies which then turn around, throw a fucking rainbow flag over their logo and go, we support you. How much support are you actually giving exactly?
Well, see, now I read about this, about the about American, not too much into American politics. So these companies apparently donate to both sides, both the Republican and the Democratic. Sorry, both the Republican and the Democratic parties. And in previous years, it would be a different percentage split, so dependent on whichever way they were going. And in recent years, they've made it more of an equal split. So whatever they give to the Republicans, they also give to the Democrats and vice versa. Because they don't want to... What was it? It was something about... They don't want to be seen to be taking sides. So they give both parties an equal amount of money.
Yes.
But you're giving people money. So you're sticking a rainbow flag on shit and saying, love is love, we support you, blah, blah, blah. But then you're giving the Republican Party the same amount of money as the Democratic Party, and the Republicans would have you shut down equal opportunity for LGBTQ plus people, abortion rights, and this, that, and the other.
It bugs me in the sense that there's nothing that anyone can really do about it. And that's the other problem. Americans can all stop going to Walmart, but let's be realistic here. Walmart is one of the biggest companies in the world. We could all stop shopping at Amazon. But then how am I going to get my cheap discounted delivery goods? It's one of those things where these companies rule the monopoly on so many situations, and it's then hard to turn around and, from a moralistic standpoint, I suppose, judge them when they both support and don't support, because they will go both ways to keep the vast majority of people interested in their product. If one month they celebrate the gays for who they are, and then the next month they flood money into the NRA, well, it's going to support all sides of the branches. It's not just going to go one way. And it makes sense for them to do it, because then they keep everybody happy. We don't just give money to you, we give money to them, and we give money to them, and it keeps them impartial, I suppose, in a way.
The problem is, though, it prevents certain aspects of progress, because they're flooding both parties with equal amount of money. And these companies say, oh, well, we have to do this from a political standpoint so that we're not being biased, I guess. But it's really difficult to watch. You can't stick a rainbow flag on your fucking logo and then support a group, whether it's equally or not, to the other group. You're still supporting them when they're trying to ban LGBTQ plus rights.
Exactly.
They're trying to change amendments. Like, it's really, really difficult. I get that you don't want to be biased, but at the same time, don't stick a rainbow flag on your fucking logo and then give them money anyway. Like,
it's kind of like the co-opting and benefit of one thing to support another. There was a story there was an article once, I can't remember where I read it. And one of the reporters was talking about being an open lesbian herself, and seeing when Apple released their rainbow straps for the watch.
The watch straps, yeah.
And the problem was it wasn't actually going to charity. So what they did was co-opted something which, I'm going to say it, and it's probably going to cause a stir to people that don't believe it, but something that belonged to the gays, to the gay community, to the LGBTQ plus community, whacked it on a wristwatch strap, which cost about $100. And then sold it for full profit. Didn't really give anything back. Now, I know that Apple's CEO of the past was an openly gay man. I know that they do a lot for charities. But that wasn't a charitable cause. That was using something, that was rainbow washing a product for your own personal gain. Much like what Ant Dec did.
I'm not going to go back into the Ant Dec. Yeah, I don't really know what to say, to be fair.
It's difficult because at one time when I was younger, I would have loved all of this.
Oh, I would have gone out and bought everything.
Yeah.
Everything in my closet would have been rainbow coloured.
100%. I would have been the person shouting from the rooftop. I would have been throwing glitter down the streets. I would be wearing rainbow everything, looking like a hot mess. And now that I'm older and you sort of lift the veil a little bit of what the rainbow washing signifies, you sort of say to yourself, I don't really want that if that's what it means. Do you know what I mean? If it's a sort of placeholder, if it's a kind of like, shut the fuck up because we've done this for you this month, be happy that we've acknowledged your existence. It feels a little bit harsh.
I just don't understand why these ranges aren't permanently part of their collection. That's the bit that bugs me even more. Like, you whack these collections out and they're there for a month and then they're gone. Discontinue the line until next month.
Yeah.
They're not permanent fixtures.
No.
Of these companies, which then makes me think, well, it's fact.
A marketing
It's
ploy.
fact. It's a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Because you can only get it for this 1 month and then they're gone.
That's what I mean. There was someone, well-known homophobe, well-known transphobe, who did this whole thing on her Instagram where she posted up pictures and she was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. These companies that are supporting for a month, blah, 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 blah. Everything turns gay for a month. And then someone who's a well-known gay rights activist posted underneath it, darling, we don't like it neither. And it just made me laugh because I was like, actually, yeah, I agree with that. Like I say, at one point,
I remember some guy coming into work somewhere where I worked once, and he came in. He was a straight guy, and he was so proud of himself because he was wearing these rainbow-coloured shoes. And he came up to me and he was like, "Do you like my Do you like my trainers?" Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's great. Like, good for you. I'm glad that you're wearing rainbow shoes and you're a straight white man and you're loving your new trainers." And I'm just stood there thinking, you've just bought these, given it to a company that's just doing it for money.
It's just doing it for money, yeah. They're not doing it to support.
I love that he was a little bit naive to what was clearly going on. He was trying his best, I guess, but.
Well, this is it, and you know, those are the kind of people where I'm always like, you wear that rainbow thing. I'm probably not going to, but thank you. And it does show that people that when they do this, 90% of people have the best intention.
Of course they do. Like, he had the best intentions, and he wanted to come and show me, and it was quite cute. But
and I have to admit that a lot of these marketers, these marketing agents, are stirred on by their HR team, and their HR team are doing it because they don't want to feel like it's old. Then, you know, the new way of dealing with things is that we want everybody in our business. So if we're going to have members of the LGBTQ community in our business, we have to then support Pride. And Pride is now a whole month. And for that whole month, we're going to do this and we're going to throw it out there because that's what we want to be. That's HR. Marketers then have turned around and gone, okay, but how can we make money from this? Do you know what I mean? And then, of course, the CEOs of these companies are like, I don't care as long as the bank balance goes up. It's a shit situation, which does provide some good.
It's really hard, isn't it? Because you know that they're doing it as a money-making scheme. But at the same time, I am glad that they do it because it spreads awareness. Yeah. But then they give their money back to people in power that want to get rid of your rights. And it's just a hot mess of shit, let's be fair. Like it's good because there's rainbows everywhere and it's all happy and we support people that are different from straight people and that's great, but then we're going to give the money back to the people that are going to try and ban gay rights, and then and then people don't know what to do for it. It's really, really difficult. Like, it's difficult. So difficult.
It's difficult, especially if you're in the community as well, because we don't sometimes know which.
I don't buy anything from those people. When those people come out with their pride packs and their limited edition LGBTQ plus range, I don't buy it.
No, I don't either.
If I'm going to do it, I'm going to buy it from people that are LGBTQ plus.
It's an interesting thing, actually. Yeah, part of me does feel like saying that whilst it's great having all of these companies acknowledge that we do exist, believe it or not, I would actually prefer it if we could push to the forefront designers, creators, businesses that are LGBTQ run and owned.
Yeah, run and owned. And just to throw it out there, this is not an ad. We are not getting paid for this at all.
Although if you want to, you can reach a sure thing.
We're not getting paid for this, but there's 3 LGBTQ plus designers that I found. So one of them is a little bit more famous than the other 2. So Tomboy X, they are an LGBTQ run designer company aimed at just being gender neutral. So all of their products are not aimed at men, women, non-binary. They're not aimed at anybody. They're just aimed at people.
Just aimed at people. Yeah.
They're aimed at people, and they do underwear and they do hoodies and t-shirts and things, and they have some of it's rainbow and then some of it's just says Tomboy X on it and stuff like that. It is queer run. So well done to them. But if you want to go and have a look, their merch is really, really good. They've got some good stuff on there.
Queer creators.
Bianca Designs. That looked like it was more Etsy based, and again, they are a queer creator, designer, and they do different stuff. So it's like key rings and mugs and things. It was quite cute. It looked really nice.
This is it, and that's where I kind of want the sort of, that's where I'm going to accept rainbow washing in a sense, because it's your brand, it's your business.
Oh, I'm totally ordering things off Tomboy X when I've got some more money.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's your sexuality, it's your gender, it's how you believe and how you see yourself, and sure, why not capitalize off that if that's who you are, and if you're then going to put that energy back into the community. I can't stand it when I see something where it's aimed at a specific thing. So, for example, something like Nike, their clothes are not gender neutral. They are aimed, let's be realistic here, at men. And to 1 month out of 12 to turn around and be like, and the gays, woo, it doesn't actually translate in my mind still that much. It still makes me, unfortunately, it goes the adverse where I'm just like, you don't care about us. Do you know what I mean? But then if someone, a designer who is gay, or lesbian or trans or whatever, comes out with a collection whereby it's sportswear, and they're going to be looking at the gender neutrality of things, they're going to be wanting to put this money back into the LGBTQ community, that's instantly going to read to me, oh, you're the one that wants to do this for us. You're the one that's doing this with the right mindset.
That's why I want to get some stuff from Tomboy X, because it's gender neutral. It's not aimed at men, it's not aimed at women, it's not aimed at any, it's just aimed at people, at human beings. And their collection is really, really good. And I struggle really because you know my style. I'm not a girly girl. No. Like, I don't walk around in heels and a dress.
You are a drag king. You wear men's clothes.
I could be a drag king. Maybe one day I should dress up as a drag king. That's a genuine thing. I probably would do that. That would be quite fun. But my style is not that of a feminine woman. So
oh, shuck.
I shop in the men's section, obviously. And then it's really difficult because men's clothing is not made for lesbian women.
And then you get used to the fact that men have pockets, and then you really go back to women's clothes.
I love the fact that men's clothes have pockets and women's clothes do not have pockets. But then it's a major struggle then to find things that fit and that look right, because I am not a dude, and my shoulders sit differently, my waist is different, my hips are bigger, obviously.
And the fact that you have breasts.
And I have boobs as well. And they're not small. And
oh, she's bragging as well. I don't.
Well, yeah, you gotta brag when you can. So it just makes it more difficult to buy clothes. So buying gender neutral clothes for me is a yes, because it means that they're probably going to sit better than shopping in the men's department at Hollister or...
But do you know what the real tea is, though? Most women that I know, straight women, doesn't matter, would go for that. Would go for something where it is more men's style fit. And it's not for ideological preferences. It's just because 9 times out of 10, women's clothes are not comfortable.
Oh, well, I've not... I tried to wear women's clothes once. It's just like you just said, like the pockets on the jeans, it just doesn't fit right, and then everything's in these weird pastel and pink colours, and it's like, ew. Not every woman wants something that's pastel or pink, some of us like to walk around in black. I love a good black piece of clothing. That is 90% of my wardrobe. So it just doesn't fit right, and then it hugs you in places that women just don't want to be hugged.
Well, it's interesting though as well, because quite a few other brands are trying out this sort of gender neutrality when it comes to clothes as well, and so were other producers as well. For example, the Try Guys on YouTube, check them out. We love the Try Guys. Like they need my advertisement.
We love the Try Guys.
But yeah, they do a lot of gender neutral clothes. PewDiePie as well. When he opened Suki with his partner, with his wife, they did it gender neutral, so that then anything you buy is designed for anyone. It doesn't matter. And I think more places should start doing that.
You can still keep your men's section and your women's section. It's just that...
Undoubtedly, but I do believe that...
And it's not... The thing is that I think people then get scared, don't they? Because they're like, oh, gender neutral clothing. And it's like,
no.
You don't need to be scared. Like, I'm not gender neutral. I identify as female, but I would like clothes that don't scream woman and don't scream man. Like,
yeah, they're sitting in the
I just want to sit in the middle with my clothing style. Like.
And funnily enough, I also don't want to wear a shirt which is brightly coloured rainbow, pants which are brightly coloured rainbow, shoes which are brightly coloured rainbow.
No, I don't want to do that either.
I am not interested in rainbow washing
myself.
Oh my god.
I don't mind a little bit of a rainbow, but
sure, why not? But
I don't want to look like a walking flag.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, listen, and my voice screams gay as it is. I don't need the rest of me to do
No,
that.
all of you screams gay, honey. The whole thing.
Do you have anything else to say on rainbow washing?
Think before you buy.
100%. Do a little bit of research.
Do a bit of research. Think about what you're doing before you do it, and if any companies are listening, highly unlikely, think before you do anything.
From one gay and one lesbian in a room in Manchester, that we want your support, but that
I do want
people's
people's support. I want people's support
not just for
permanently. I don't want it for 1 month. Like,
you want to ride the gay train? Hop on board.
Hop on board. Well, you're not fucking getting off.
Yeah, but no one leaves. Yeah, I agree. Just think, be a little bit more consumer smart, and remember that sometimes that shirt might be cute from that company, but you might just be able to find a cuter one from an LGBTQ made store.
And let's give people, give those people our money over brands that are multi-million-pound
and that's
corporations.
Oh. Can you imagine if that's how I start to end every single podcast episode?
Oh god.
I don't think it would work. I think people would just shut off before that point. Moving on. Well, then let's end this podcast now.
I'm so scared. Think before you buy. We appreciate people's support. If you want to do that, but we're not hating on people that do go and buy these things, by all means go fucking nuts, but
the only rainbow wash I want is one on side of my car. Right. We'll move on. We'll go. We'll finish this. Let's finish this episode.
Okay, so we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, no, there is always stuff that I always have to say. Why do I never end it properly? If you want to buy us a coffee, you can buy us a coffee, because without coffee
I might die.
Oh, okay, so you're not going to die
no
this time.
I think I was being melodramatic.
And if you also want, you can support us on Patreon.
Follow us on Twitter.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and hit
subscribe.
That subscribe Oh my god.
Do you know what? I feel so fucking cheesy saying that. Comment, and subscribe.
We turn into those people. But definitely hit that subscribe button, because for every subscriber that we get,
nothing happens.
We get one subscriber.
We get one subscriber more than we had the day before.
Oh my god. It's time to end this podcast. Okay, bye.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.